So we're starting P8 in this race. Rain shall come at the end of the race, but of course we've seen the weather forecast is useless on the game so far. So we have no idea when that actually will be coming. Oh god, we're about to start. I haven't got my gloves on. Right, time to lock in, chat. I don't want damage at turn 1. What means I'll probably get damage at turn 1. Yo everyone, and welcome to round 5 of the Ironman League here on F1 2025. It is going to be 5 lights and lights out, and away we go here in Hungary, starting P8, and we're immediately going to be gaining 2 positions starting here into the first turn and down the inside on the brakes. So yeah, that was a very successful start, a very successful getaway, and able to get past our old rival from last video, Jack West. If people have seen the Austria race, you know that we went toe to toe, wall to wall, wheel to wheel, and bang to bang. But either way, we are up into P6 already, which is very successful considering we started P8 and Hungary, especially on F1 2025 with the increased dirty air, is so difficult to overtake, and we're going to be gifted another free position up the inside of Diego. I presume he touched the grass going into that corner, as he was, I think, leading the race before that moment as well. At least was in P2 or P3. So yeah, very unfortunate for Diego, but his loss is our gain, and we have somehow found our way, gaining 3 positions on the opening lap here. And immediately, I'm starting to recognise the difficulty of the dirty air ahead of us. So I'm going to switch my strategy up straight away. We didn't even complete the first lap here, and we're going to start thinking about how we can tyre save the rear axle to put ourselves in as good of a position to overtake later in the stint as we possibly can do. Of course, the start finish line, P5, confirmed, sealed and signed off here. At the moment, just trying to save rear tyres, especially on the temperature. And of course, you can hear my live thoughts during the race with that live comment about trying to save the rear tyre temperature. Even if it costs us a little bit of pace right now, should help us at the end. Yeah, just trying to gain longevity, that is. Just trying to gain longevity here. Better to let these boys fight amongst themselves, you know? And yeah, these guys were going very aggressive, burning out the tyres. Let them overheat their rear tyres. And, for example, Gabor, we could see directly ahead of us, he was really pushing it, sliding the rear axle quite a lot in the middle sector. So we did think about seeing how late we can brake here in turn 1. It's a bit of a tactic I do sometimes. When I've got a bit of clear air, I'll try to brake as late as I possibly can, so I know that when I get an opportunity, how late I can actually brake in that moment, you know? Yeah, at the moment, with everyone having the DLS, it's just impossible. And just speaking about how difficult it is to overtake with the VRS, we clump that curb. Jesus! We almost got sent to the moon, the car started flying. Better to save my rear tyres and play it smart. Yeah, just trying to make that tyre offset for later in the race as well. We're definitely sliding less than they are. We just have to make sure we keep up that trend as the stint goes on. Yeah, being analytical, trying to understand what they're doing, what I'm doing differently, and how I can also improve it during the race. Well, seeing as nothing is happening in the chat, how does a penguin build a house? Include it together. The boots. That's the most entertaining thing that's happened in 8 laps so far. Yeah, you can see, I'm not the most entertained. You are my fire, the one desire, believe when I say I want it that way. I can't remember the rest, but I hope you enjoyed. Go on, round of applause everyone, round of applause. That got me in Britain's Got Talent, that did. But yeah, I was very bored at this point in the race, trying to maybe have a look at Gabor up the inside there, but just too far back. Because it was like 8 laps in at that point, nothing was happening, we've got dirty air, we can't overtake, no one's battling because they can't overtake as well with dirty air. So I thought I'd have a bit of a sing-song and make a bit of joke before as well with the penguin joke. But we are going to be trying to make something of it here, right up behind Gabor, trying to pressure him into the second sector. All over the back, we think about going up the inside, but he shuts the door firmly in our face. Doing it for the content. And yep, doing it for the content because I was bored, and I look forward to making this YouTube video as well. So yeah, just thinking about the content at that moment. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why ain't nothing but... Ooh. Apex was lava. Apex, indeed, was lava. It was so far away from it. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the last of my singing in this video, so if you like it, unlucky. If you didn't like the singing, you want another joke? Quite fortunate. Why do penguins make great racing drivers? Because they're from the pole position. Or they're always on pole position. I can't remember how the joke goes, to be honest. I promise we're about to lock in. One of the two. We are about to lock in. Both of them work. I know we had a bit of a sing-song. We made a joke. Siri! Is it Siri? I've never used Siri before. Siri! Oh, you're not working. Of course, it's Sundays, isn't it? It's your day off. Okay, maybe we're not about to lock in. Google, tell me a joke. Yeah, okay, yeah, we're definitely not locking in at the moment. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the comedy show. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit different from a normal league race. Oh my god, why is it so hard to get a joke up in the middle of the race? I surely would have thought they would have pre-planned for this. 200 of the best dad jokes. Yeah, I do not care about your cookies at the moment. Just accept it. No, I do not want a paragraph about how you wrote your jokes. Just tell me the joke, man, please. Yeah, I'm having prime head loss because the website wasn't telling me the joke that I wanted to read. Oh, stuff is happening. Oh, stuff is... Right, time to lock in, boys. Okay, it's time to lock in. Stuff is happening. Note to self, medium tyres die in like 5 laps. Dude, just tell me the... this website is arse. I'm not doing that more. Right. We're fully locked in now. There's no more jokes, no more singing. It is time to crack on and get within the action. So Gabor has now burnt his battery and dropped out of the DLS from the cars ahead, what means we're going to have an easy pickings going into turn 1. But a critical moment for us up ahead now is to be closing in that 1.5 second gap to Andre and Jan up ahead. And we have actually done that. We was able to get back in the DLS of the Alpine car up ahead, and we still have a decent amount of battery as well. Almost dropping Gabor out of our DLS as well in that moment, but he was able to stay quite firmly within it once we settled into the pace rhythm. And of course, once we start catching the dirty air of the cars ahead, really not much we can do. You can see Leo has gone for a pit stop, so he's going to try and catch back up on us. It is due to rain fairly soon in the race. We're going to talk about that a bit later on in the video as well. So basically, he's trying to do what we did in Austria, as they're going really hammering at it up ahead. That's good entertainment. Cheers, boys. He's basically trying to get the undercut on us, and then hope that his tyres can be in a good way by the time our dies, basically. I think extending his stint purely determines on if I think I can do a one-stop or not. And you can hear me already thinking about how far we can take these hard tyres into the race. Of course, there's rain scheduled for the end of the race, but we don't know if it's going to fall. And we don't know if it's going to be good enough to make even inters, you know? Or even when it's going to fall. So yeah, really in a difficult phase at the moment, because the rain is scheduled, the rain will come, but we don't know exactly when it will come. Hello. Jesus Christ. And, yeah, Jack West relived Austria a little bit there. I mean, 10 out of 10 for sending it. Fair play, lad. Well, that was interesting. And, yeah, well, it's actually meant that Benz has dropped out of our DLS. He should catch back up because we have dirty air in the middle sector, so it should be a-okay for him. But that's reshuffled the order behind us and put Jack West. And I feel really sorry for Gabor there, because he just got sent from a different postcode. You can still see me laughing about it, to be honest. I feel like I got a decent amount of pace in the locker. But the problem is, like, I just got nowhere to go at the moment. And yeah, just saving tyres, to be honest. Like I say, I feel like I got good pace, just saving the tyres in the dirty air. But the car feels good, the balance is nice. I think the rear deck is pretty good as well. We seem to be sliding around less than other people. I think we have a choice imminently to try and make a 1 or 2 stop work. What do you think, chat? Again, more strategy talk, trying to understand everything. And because of the tyre saving we've done, you can see that we're really able to close in on the cars ahead, as rain is due in 10 to 15. In 10 to 15 minutes? Excuse me, game. Did you not see the pre-race report where it said at the end? And I'm not too happy with the game at the moment, because the pre-race weather report, again, is not being truthful. I mean, it's my best chance, because how strong the dirty air is, it's just a pass. And now we have a VSC, because Otis Lawrence is out of the race. Well, I don't know what to do. No, we have to stay out. And yeah, thinking about boxing, we are going to fake the pit lane at the moment, though. Little fake there. Not worth the box. Basically, just pretending to box and not actually boxing to try and trick the cars behind. Because we wanted to stay out, but we didn't want the other cars to do the opposite strategy. The more cars that stay on the same strategy for us, the more protection we have from behind. What is, of course, good for us in our race, in our situation, our strategy. So it's also quite fortunate not to pick up a penalty there. Just from how inconsistent that delta is. Yeah, and you can hear me say about how inconsistent that delta is on a VSC, and it is so inconsistent. So easy to pick up a penalty. Yep, it's raining, and now inters are selected. We have rain falling on the circuit. We're going to stay on board for our in-lap here on lap 37 of the race. We've got Jan and Andre just up ahead. Bench just behind us as well. Diego in P5 in this race. So, running in a podium-paying position in this segment of the race. Every corner is going to get more slippery. We're going to lose tyre temperature, lose grip, lose confidence, corner by corner. But, Track West Masterclass. Send me the clip after the race, man. Can we make the most of it? That is the question to be answered. So now I've just got to lock in, buddy. And actually, at the moment, you hear me having a bit of a conversation with Otis Lawrence, because of course he DNF'd, unfortunately, so he came over to my chat and we was just interacting a little bit, and he showed me the clip of the crash he had with Jack West after the race, and was interesting. Oh, that was a bit of a voice crack. Okay, let's leave that in, because that's funny. But yeah, it was quite interesting. But anyway, we're going to crack on. And I can't believe I had that voice crack when doing the commentary, man. Someone's going to clip that. Anyway, getting back to the point now, we have a decision to make. It is not fully ready for the intermediate tyres, but I'm going to decide to box this lap also with Jan up ahead. The reason for doing so is these hard tyres are so worn out right now that it's better, possibly, to go to new inters on a too dry track than stay out on these hards. Inters are already pre-selected. Hear me say about pre-selected inters, so now they are ready to go on my car in the pit box. Can we get it turned in? We've got the optimal turn in, and we're going to get 2.2 on the pit stop, and we've actually jumped into the theoretical race lead ahead of Jan. Unlucky for Jan, to be honest. Feel a bit bad for him there. And yeah, I do feel bad for him, because he didn't really do anything wrong, if I'm fully aware. I don't know what he did on the entry, like the button you have to press, but I reckon he probably got held by someone else coming through the pit lane. What is really unlucky for him, especially on a track that's so difficult to overtake, to lose the race lead for that. So I feel bad for him on that sense. But we have been blessed with a free position in the pit lane, and you can see the intermediates are quite struggling at the moment. The track is too dry for them. But as I mentioned before, this condition is just about acceptable for the intermediates. And the dries are so worn at this point. The hard tyres that we had are so worn out that on the slippery surface they're just going to have no grip at all. So it's better to do the lesser of two evils in this situation and take intermediates that are going to overheat rather than dries that are not going to grip. But we have built up 1.7 seconds to the cars behind on this outlap, so we have really found a lot of confidence on the road when the cars behind haven't been able to, and we are confirmed into the race lead right now here on lap 39 of the race, and we have been given an opportunity what we have ran with to take the provisional and full race lead once everyone else had made their pit stops. 1.2 seconds to Andre, 2.9 to Benz, 3.2 to Istvan Pukki, and 4.4 to Ismail Fassi as well. Pukki has gone up the inside of Benz as well. So you can see at the moment it's a bit difficult because the track is getting wetter and wetter lap by lap, and we're the first person to arrive to the new track condition, to the new grip. Andre and the cars behind can slightly see what I'm doing, if I'm running wide, if I'm losing grip, gaining performance maybe, and re-evaluate their braking zone, their turn-in point, what they expect from the corner before they get to it, just by watching our car. So we are really exploring into the unknown. Additionally, I don't know how long this rain is going to stay with us. We're already up until 5% in the rear tyre deck. I know it's basically impossible to overtake with the wet conditions, especially around Hungary on F1 2025. So at the moment, I'm focusing to tyre saving. I'm focusing just to driving smooth, not take extra life out of the tyres, because you can run away in this situation. You can build an advantage, you can build a gap. But if there's a safety car, it's going to take away that gap anyway. So I might as well keep the pack closer to me, or as close as I want to feel comfortable to do so anyway, not take extra life out of my tyres, and keep my opportunities open later in the race as well. You can see 55% on the braking bias, just trying to minimise any rear sliding that can be happening with the car right now. Still high on the battery percentage, up until 50% there, draining it a little bit on this mini straight. And we've got 3.8 seconds to Istvan Pukki. I think he was tyre saving a little bit as well, because his pace did pick up similar times when our pace picked up and dropped away as well. So you can see 1 second now to Andre. The track is starting to get marginally drier, and we're getting closer to going back to the dry tyre. So I cancel my tyre saving. You can see how different my driving will become very shortly, from going to trying to save those rear tyres to now it will be fully pushing and extracting maximum grip, maximum potential from the car. You can see already a bit more aggressive with turn 1. The track is drying rapidly, and we've got 3.3 seconds to Istvan Pukki, 5 seconds, just under 5 seconds now to Ismail Fassi as well. You can see building the gap up to the cars behind, 1.1 seconds, and this is me at full push now, up over the inside curbing, starting to correct the wheel a little bit more, fighting, dancing with the limit of the grip, limit of adhesion as we go around the circuit. The track is drying, DLS is ready to be enabled, and we are going to be getting into the pit lane this lap. The decision really is difficult in this moment. Do we go to the hards, what will be slower for the rest of the race, but we have the advantage to make them work, or do we go to the mediums, it will be faster for this little bit in the stint, but if there's a safety car later in the race, we'll only have the option to put on the hards, because the softs are useless just about getting it slowed down into the pit lane. But unfortunately, or fortunately for us anyway, unfortunately for Pukki, he got a speeding in the pit lane penalty, and that has gifted us even more buffer to the cars behind, because he's been given a 10-second penalty. But we do decide to go to the hard compound tyres, and Andre behind us decides to go to the hard compound tyres as well. And the reason I did this only with 20 laps remaining is because I knew that if it's a 1v1 with me and Andre, I can stay in his DLS even if he goes for those medium compound tyres, so I felt confident to do that anyway. But with the hards, my tyres would be better at the end of the race. At the start of the race, we saw the medium runners starting to box after 14 laps into the stint. Maybe they could have gone further into the race if they wanted to, but it was already a good indication. But right now, the mediums are going to have such a big advantage on the track. A slightly slippery surface with a softer compound or tyre is a massive advantage, especially around a track that has so many turns like Hungary. But we have really dialed into the new grip level immediately. You can see Andre behind us is now 1.5 seconds, and we are committed to maximising the pace potential through the end of Sector 2. Starting Sector 3, you can see just clawing away, chipping at that gap to Andre as we're closing into Nicholas Longay up ahead of us. What is going to be perfect timing for us, in fact, because he peels into the pit lane and we do get the DLS off him as well. What's going to be offering us, it's hard to say exactly, because I could save a bit of battery and not use it all down this pitch straight. It was probably worth about half a second, probably, between the two straights, maybe a little bit more. You can see we have built up the gap to 1.8 seconds to Istvan Pukki now, who's on the medium compound tyres, as we mentioned before. Andre's on the hard compound tyre. Ismail Fassi is on the mediums as well. But both Ismail Fassi and Istvan Pukki are going to have time penalties applied to their race once we go over the start-finish line. Speaking of fast, he does the fastest lap in the race. So we have built up the gap to Andre to 3.4 seconds in this phase of the race, really showing the pace that we could extract from the tyres, the car, and the confidence we had in the setup at this point anyway of lap 55 of the race. But it was a fighting battle to keep those medium runners out of the DLS. I would have loved it because it would have meant that we had an easier time to wrap up the rest of the race with. But unfortunately their tyres and their pace was just too strong to keep them completely out of our DLF boundary. But as you can see, we was able to build up to 3.6 seconds now to Andre. So yeah, we had a good pace this stint, feeling very comfortable and very solid as we was able to go on. As you can see now, lap 64, the pace has settled in. I've been tyre saving. You can see now that I'm really just driving smoothly again, not taking that many risks, just managing the tyre, not overheating the rear tyres as well, and the surface especially is a big correlation. If you overheat the surface, you instantly lose grip on this year's iteration of the Formula 1 game. As you can see, 8 attempts to Pookie. I think it was his engineer who came into my live stream chat and actually asked us to push a little bit more because, of course, with his penalty and the penalty for Fatty as well, if we was able to push, we could help them out a little bit to extend the gap to the cars behind, so maybe they wouldn't going to fall as many positions. So, of course, we're looking after our race, but if I can do that for them as well, why not? So you can see that we were pushing quite hard as well, driving smartly, driving smooth, not overheating the rear tyres at all. But as you can see, the pace that we're going to have on these final laps of the race as we start to really unleash and not have to worry about overheating any rear tyres. We're going to just have fun, to be honest. The car was feeling immaculate, was in a really good balance. So I really felt like I could just drive the car, have good fun, rotate it through the apexes, and just, yeah, it was bliss. You know, when you get a car set up in a nice way, and it's feeling good on the track, you're in the race lead, you have a bit of clear air, it's just a nice feeling, you know, and I wanted to enjoy that emotion, and just push the car until the end of the race. With the 10-second penalty of Pookie and the 3-second penalty of Fassi, there was really not that much pressure from behind, but just to keep the race lead until the very end would be a satisfying feeling. So we're going to aim for that. As you can see through the middle section now, we are starting to really extract the maximum performance, opening up the track right up to the limits of the white line, and it's going to be 3.8 seconds to Andre at the moment, who's really our fair comparison of pace, because Pookie and Fassi are on worn mediums. Okay, they have the DLS, but it's not fair to directly compare them because my hard tyres are better than their mediums at this point in the race. But we're going on to the final lap of the race, up to 3.9 seconds to the car behind, well, to Andre.
What is that command?
And you can hear me laughing at the live stream chat because I was having a bit of a funny comment in the chat as well. But was able now to build up to 4.1 seconds to Andre. Just peeked over that as we was going down the pit straight. Let's see how much gap we can extend on this final lap. Let's see, just for a bit of fun, if we can break possibly away from the DLS or Pookie, as well as we're now draining all of our battery into the middle sector for the final time in this race. Throw it through the right hander, sliding the rear, just trying to get back to that 100% power ASAP, extrapolating maximum pace, maximum performance through the left hander now, and now through the right, just breaking back to the power. And you can see, just enjoying the car right now, up to 4.3 seconds to Andre as well. So once we started pushing and not tyre saving in that phase, we was able to build the gap up a little bit further and really cement what I enjoyed this race very much. Coming through the final corners of the race now, into the final apex, and we are going to be winning our first race since retiring. Yeah,
Oh, that is very lovely indeed. That is simply lovely.
yeah, very lovely. And I love Hungary. It always seems to come good for me on this track. I mean, maybe it's something to do with the tyre saving. Maybe it's just the way that the track flows. But yeah, I really enjoy this track. Really enjoy to race it. And it always seems to be a good result for me around here anyway. So yeah, really happy with that. The car felt phenomenal. Really feel like I'm progressing in a good way with the car setups at the moment. I do all this by myself. to be honest. I think I mentioned it in the previous video as well. The setup's all made by me. The strategies are all done by me. I have no engineer. I only rely on the game. So it's just a completely raw, I don't know the other word, maybe authentic. I don't know the right word. But yeah, completely raw experience playing the F1 game, only relying on my knowledge, my skill set, my experience to try and extract the performance and pace from the car, and no outside factors are adding to that, you know. So very proud of that we're able to go toe-to-toe with the fastest drivers on the game, and hold our own against them as well. So with that being said, yeah, very happy. Very nice to get the race win. Very nice result, and puts us back in the championship hunt. Yeah, that's quite a nice feeling to say. Yeah, put us back in the championship hunt. We're not too many points away from the championship lead. So yeah, with that being said, that's been a nice video. Hopefully you all enjoyed the jokes, the singing, and the race win at the end. I've been Brendon Leigh, and I'll catch you in the next video. Grazie, ciao, ciao, bye-bye.